This is TWiT.
President Biden has signed an executive order that the crypto boys are all over about. They're so excited. I'm not sure why they're excited, but I guess it's at least acknowledgement that crypto exists. Yesterday, he signed an executive order emphasizing, this is from Vice, the U.S. government's commitment to ensuring that virtual assets are developed responsibly and foreshadows the development of a digital dollar.
Does it make them happy or unhappy?
Makes them happy.
Huh.
I don't know.
So the rich dad, poor dad guy, who I didn't know was a Trumpian, kind of off the rails. He was going all. They're gonna destroy crypto. They're gonna take it all over. They're gonna make it one federal dollar. And I don't know why I'm quoting him because he's nuts. But
well, see, that's the thing.
There's that extreme part of this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure I buy the interpretation. This is good news because you're right. It's saying is we're gonna look more into this. But everybody I read said, "Oh no, this is great." Vice says industry insiders appear to welcome the executive order, which was expected to be essentially positive on cryptocurrencies. This is Jerry Brito, director of a DC-based think tank Coin Center. He tweeted, "The message I take from this guess what kinds of coins? The message I take from this executive order is that the federal government sees cryptocurrency as a legitimate, serious, an important part of the economy and society. And I think it's a good signal to serious people who've been holding back from getting involved." One of the things I think people like Jerry are saying is we needed guidance from the feds about this or nobody would take it seriously. If they're going to do things, at least we'll know what the roadmap is.
They're validating the technology. They're saying, hey, this is a thing worth looking at because we think it's a real thing. And when the federal government does that, even if they come in and squash it, at least they've said, okay. I mean, the next step is going to be like not squashing it. But if they come in and say, okay, we're looking at this, then everybody else is like, oh, well, the federal government's going to look at it. We'll take a look at it.
Well, it's partly that, but it's also just we need some certainty. In fact, there was a cryptocurrency exchange, one of our sponsors actually, that was fined a lot of money by the SEC, but welcomed it because they said, look, we'll pay the fine. What we wanted was clarification. They've never said, are these securities? What are these? So the FCC fine essentially said, yeah, if you're trading crypto futures or whatever it was, that's a security, and we're going to treat it like a security. Okay, so they actually, as bad as it is to get fined, welcomed it because now we know what the rules are, and this is a problem. That's what's going to make it hard for it to mature and to get people invested in it is the uncertainty of knowing how the feds are going to come down. So even if they come down potentially badly, at least we'll know. We need to know. And I think that if there is a digital dollar, there are people who would say that's a terrible thing, probably the rich dad, poor dad guy, because, of course, that means maybe no more anonymity and, the government's snooping on transactions. There is really only one completely private transaction. That's cash, unmarked bills.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is that the reputation of crypto keeps getting worse and worse. I put a whole bunch of crypto stuff down under other in the one of which is 124 million crypto fraud operation with a brother and sister.
Oh, yeah.
Right? When that kind of stuff goes on, it hurts the reputation of safety of the entire field.
That's right.
If they want to make this broad.
Same thing with NFTs. There's all sorts of scams. And I saw somewhere 80% of NFTs are scams. So this needs... It has to stop being the Wild West. And if you're Wyatt Earp, you might say, "Oh man, I'm going to miss those good old days." But there's no future if you don't get some certainty on this.
I would find it useful. I don't know if you agree or not, because this is not a democracy. It only matters if you do. To almost discuss crypto a little more often on the show, just because it's such an important crypto and blockchain. Okay, well, all right, that was that.
Who was that?
I'll discuss the blockchain. That was the pained noise of like, oh,
God.
Wow. That was a stuck pig, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know what. It was some animal was. No, I think we should.
Can I make that my ringtone, please?
Look, I am increasingly skeptical of all of this stuff. In fact,
that's why it's interesting.
Yeah,
but the architecture has potential.
Nobody's saying there's not some
right.
interesting stuff, and blockchain obviously has some applications. It's a decentralized ledger. That's great. But as it's been implemented through cryptocurrencies and now NFTs and DAOs, it almost always seems to be at best speculative and at worst a scam. And so I'm very very bearish on cryptocurrency in general and crypto in general. But yes, Stacey, and that's why Stacey made that noise. I'm sure she feels the same way. She doesn't want this to be the Crypto Bro show, and I understand.
I do not. Yeah. I will abandon ship. Yeah. But I bring up things
a threat. No crypto for us.
That is not a threat.
Out of here.
It's just a legitimate, nope.
No, you wouldn't
not
want
my jam.
Here.
You wouldn't
want
gone.
I promise to y'all, because I follow a lot of this, because I do think the blockchain is important for establishing trust, trust and authenticity in IoT. I get a lot of interesting pitches around data. I will bring those to you. And I will say, hey, look, this is actually pretty legit. This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I've done it in the past. I'll continue doing it, but we don't have to talk a lot about NFTs or cryptocurrencies.
Look, it's not. Blockchain's legit, but it's not about blockchain. Otherwise, people would be all excited about MongoDB or the latest YubiKey. It's if it were just a decentralized ledger database application by itself, no one would want to talk about it. They want to talk about it because of the huge amounts of money that can be made speculating on currencies that are created by using that technology. Now, so we could talk about blockchain, but I think blockchain, absent all of that stuff, is about as interesting as talking about Hadoop. It's just not.
MongoDB is not a distributed database.
But I'm saying it's a technology. There's lots of technologies out there.
Yeah. What's interesting is the utility.
We don't spend hours talking about public key crypto. Yes, hugely important, valuable, because it was never tied to a $60,000 instrument. Nobody cares about it. So we talk about all of that stuff all of the time. I'm just saying that saying it's a good technology is not why people are talking about it. It's not why it's interesting.
Right. Well, I'll bring you the use cases that are.
Yeah. There's great.
Yeah, that's what's interesting.
There's great use cases for public key crypto too. But that's just technology. That's not why there's all this attention. And by the way, every time I say this, and I will get it today, I'll get emails and tweets saying, "Okay, boomer." But and I think Larry David isn't far off on all of this. Let's just put it that way. Now, there are lots of good.
I want to say that I am not a boomer.
Right. But
my email should be addressed to Dear Gen Xer.
we did not spend hours talking about RSA encryption, as useful and positive and beneficial as it is. The reason we spend all that time talking about blockchain is not because it's a great technology and a distributed ledger.
Well, it's the simple rule. Cervantes didn't say, "I need to find a new use for print." He said, "I want to invent something new," and it was the novel.
Create the novel.
Yeah.
People talk about print a lot more than they talk about blockchain.
I was going to say, so if we bring up a lot of blockchain issues, are we just going to be tilting at windmills?
Oh, very good.
Ooh.
Very good. Very good.